Welcome to Get Creative. I'm Shelley Holland. This is your creative news for the week of September 15th, 2008, brought to you by CreativePro.com. This week's edition is sponsored by iStock Photo, the world's preeminent collection of member-generated royalty-free images at the world's best prices. So here is this week's Master in a Minute.
In this week's Master in a Minute, we're going to take a look at some different shadow effects that you can create in InDesign. What you're seeing on the screen right now is just a typical drop shadow that has been applied. But what if I want to create drop shadows where there's no color to the text, or the text is white and it looks like I've got a shadow hanging out? Well, that's very simple to do in InDesign. If I simply select my text and I open up my swatches panel and look at my text element, and right now it's got a fill of black. If I change it to paper, now I have this effect where it looks like my drop shadow is just kind of hanging out and the text is knocked out of it. But what I really want to do is to be able to create what's called a floating drop shadow. That's just a drop shadow that doesn't look like it has any type attached to it. Well, right now there really isn't a way to do that in InDesign. However, there is a workaround. So I'm going to select these text right here and I'm going to duplicate it. So let's take a look at this second element. In InDesign, you have controls over effects, which include all the different pieces of your element. So if I select this second shadow and go ahead and open up my effects panel, and I'm going to double click to edit this. Now, I have controls over the X and Y, or horizontal and vertical coordinates of this particular drop shadow. So if I change my offsets here in my drop shadow effects panel, and let's make this 3 inches or 18 picas, and deselect, now it looks like my drop shadow is just kind of hanging out, floating. And that is one way to work around the limitation of this in InDesign, and you've just mastered it in a little more than a minute.
There is a new way to collaborate and communicate with your creative team. Broad Choice Workspace is a brand new way to keep everyone in sync. Broad Choice allows you to share files, tasks, and creative brainstorming while enabling you to communicate through video conferencing, chat, and shared whiteboards for collaboration. Broad Choice Workspace can also integrate with Gmail and Salesforce.com. The beta program is available on a first-come, first-served basis and works on Microsoft Windows, Mac OS X, and Linux. Check out the cool features and sign up for the beta at www.broadchoice.com. The AIGA is one of the most well-respected associations for creative design professionals. AIGA represents about 22,000 designers in 62 chapters and over 240 student groups. That is a lot of creativity. AIGA recently announced the AIGA Design Archives, which is the largest searchable online archive of curated communication design selections in existence. The archive contains AIGA design exhibition catalogs from 1924 to 2007, including the Advertisement of the Year issue. In addition to many other catalogs, all available catalogs have been scanned and are searchable in the AIGA Design Archives, which can be found at designarchives.aiga.org. And last, but definitely not least, if you would like to create graphics based on the iPhone interface, here is a nice treat from the folks at thenlex.com. They have created a Photoshop document that contains all of the interface elements that you might find on an iPhone. Let's go take a look at this document.
So this is the Photoshop file. And let's take a look at some of these iPhone elements. Let me go ahead and zoom in just a little here, and then we can move around. So for instance, you can see right here that just about every single element that you would ever encounter on the iPhone is available. And these are all on layers and all completely editable, each individual elements. And the guys put a picture of themselves, so if you want to know what the guys look like that developed this, there they are. And I'll show you how this works. Right here, this is the keypad for the phone element, and you can see that all the layers, all the elements are all accessible right here. So as I scroll down, if I want to work on this element, highlights it, and I can go put in any number I want. So pretty cool for a free Photoshop file, and I like it, and I'm going to use it to create my own little iPhone interface.
So as you saw, all of the Photoshop elements are on individual layers and are completely editable, making your design simple to customize. That's pretty cool stuff. So to download your free PSD iPhone template, head to tinyurl.com/iPhone PSD. So that's all the creative news I have for the week of September 15th, 2008. Be sure to check out all of our Get Creative videos at creativepro.com. This is Shelley Hall with Get Creative. Take care.